Good morning. Today is July 12th, 2022, and it is around almost 2 a.m. All right, yeah, it's a little late to record a video, but I was up and finishing up some work, and I had a good day slash bad day at the same time. So I just wanted to get it down on tape a little bit and post it and talk about it. So anyway, I came into work early today, which was nice. It was about a half hour early or so I wasn't rushing around or anything. So I got my desk set up, and actually my new desk is ready to go, but I didn't move myself over to it yet. I'm gonna probably do that on Wednesday. I heard a rumor that our phone lines are not in on the new desk, but that's okay. I'm happy with the desk where I'm at. But anyway, so today I was walking by another desk, and I saw a guy's name on the thing. I said, "Is that Ray?" I won't say the last name just out of privacy sake. But and so I sat down, and I heard the receptionist Peggy page him over the phone, which is kind of weird for a four-story building to have a intercom system as such. I don't know why they just don't call on the phone. But anyway, so I heard him pick up. I was like, holy shit, it's him. So I went up. I had to use the facilities, so I went to there and came back and introduced myself. And I said, hey, Ray, I'm Paul, and said, we never met before, but I know your work and I love your department. I think your department you're in one of the best departments in the company. Yeah, because it's true. I believe that the department he works for is one of the best, if not the best department in the company, because whatever you need something done, they get it done. They get the right answer, and there's no fluff about it. They just get it done, and they are mad busy. They're one of the busiest, probably. They're in parts logistics and machines logistics, and they deal with all the warehouses. So I'd say for volume of work, they're the busiest department in the company, and they're just rock stars. So. Anyway, so it was nice though. When I came and introduced myself, he goes, "Hey, Paul, nice to meet you." He goes, "I was actually impressed with how you were on the phone, how you're interacting with the phone and interacting with people today." He goes, I was going to come over and introduce myself to you and let you know that." And so I thought that was cool that he was going to do that, and I thought that was really nice to hear. A good compliment, because the compliment was, he goes, "It sounds like you care." And the funny thing is I do care. And I did tell him the story about how I had a really shitty attitude about my job in around 2014, 2016-ish. Actually, might be around 2014. I used to hate my fucking job. Because we just get the phone. Phones would just ring off the hook. It was constant bitching and moaning from the technicians that were servicing. And so anyway, I was at a therapist. Her name's Robin, and she made a suggestion to me. And the suggestion was, I said, it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to be like angry all the time. And sorry about the rocking back and forth. But anyway, so I took her advice, and the thing that I did notice is that whatever the technician would call in, their name would pop up on the screen, because they have to put their employee ID number in, and so it would have their name on top. So I would introduce them myself. So I'd say, "Hey, Joe, this is Paul. How can I help you today?" And when I started doing that, I started feeling much better about how I feel about my job, and how I noticed the attitude change for me, and I noticed how the reception change I would get from my phone calls. If they were hot under the collar, hearing their name would just stop them in the tracks, and they would say, "How do you know who I am?" I said, "Well, Joe," I said, "I saw your name, so I'm going to greet you like I want to greet you like a friend, because otherwise you're just a number, and I don't like being treated like a number when I call my credit card company or the cell phone company or whoever. So I want you to be I want you to have good customer service. So I want to greet you as a friend." And that has made such an impact on my attitude at work. I'm still a whiny little bitch, but but anyway, when it deals with anything else, like, and I'll get to the reason why that is but like the interpersonal skills with people face to face, I'm still not the greatest at, especially if you're in my department, but on the phone and the emails and stuff, the thing that I've noticed is that the more personalized I can make my communications in emails and in phone calls and even face-to-face interactions, and like I send out mass emailings. It's like say if we have a technician orders a part and it's on back order, and we have technicians in the field that have the part, we reach out to those techs proactively or reactively, and try to obtain the parts for them. So I developed a system about 2 years ago, which creates a database where the orders go into Access, and then what I do is I manipulate it and run it, and I have all the email addresses and phone numbers anyway get tied into the order number, and then I take that order number, and we have this thing called an item master. I linked the order and the item master together. The item master has a listing of all the parts. So if a part number ends with 00, there may be 11, 22, 33, 44, 55, so forth and so on. There might be different generations of that part. So I had created it to where it pulls all of the variations for that particular part number into a separate database. So when we do a field search for a part, all we have to do is put the order number into a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet will pull up every single technician in the country that has that part, that prime part, or any previous revisions of that part. Could be a repair, it could be a demand part, whatever. So anyway, so it made a big thing. And so instead of sending one email to all 120 people that might have the part, I just send 120 emails individually. So that way the email reads, "Hey, hello Jeff, this is Paul. I'm looking for this part. I have for this tech Joseph," and I keep saying the word Joe, I don't know why. He's in Manhattan. He needs the following part. According to my last snapshot from SAP, you had 4 of these in your inventory, and if you can help us out, I'd appreciate it. And if you want, I will create a UPS label for you, and I'll email it to you. And I also put a little caveat on there. But please, by no means, don't feel like you have to. I said, don't feel like you have to bend over backwards to help. Basically, it's a little bit more professional, but it's a friendly little communique. So I send those emails out, and so the thing is, I found is when I first started it, I was getting good replies, but now I've refined it so well. Now I can get replies, within 15, 20 minutes of me sending these emails. And I get the email, I get the UPS label created, and I email it out to the tech, get the part transferred to the proper tech, and hey, it's like autopilot. And these guys are getting parts before they even know that the part's on back order, just like the warehouse. So it's a great little innovation, and this is what kind of pisses me off about the company I work for. Nobody knows that I've done this except for my manager and my coworkers, and the technicians and the tech managers. They know, but no one else above that gives a fuck about it, and they're willing to let me go if I do end up moving back to Iowa and they're going to end up giving that go, and that department is going to go to shit. And but anyway, I'm done with that part. So anyway, I was telling where did I go with this? I was telling Ray that about how he goes, and I was telling him about that little development, and he goes, it's so cool that you have that that passion and that drive to make things better with it. And so I was very complimented, and I had that compliment too from another. He's a director of the another department, actually the department that Ray works for. His name Brian, and he said to me, it's great to see that you have somebody motivated and cares about their job, and it's that's great. So that's where I'm going to talk about a little bit more about this, but that's where I know I'm going to be safe. I'm going to be okay, because I'm worried about after the surgery, and again moving back to Iowa and maybe not be able to keep my job that I have now, but I feel that I have such a toolkit. I have such a base of knowledge, a toolkit that any company would die for. And I'm not being boastful or arrogant by saying that. I bring the goods, so I'm not worried about that. The only thing I'm really worried about is the pay. So, I'm when I get paid now is I get paid. They pay. I don't get paid enough for what I do right now. They got me for a song, and the reason why it's for a song is because of my weight. I'm comfortable where I'm at, and I'm not comfortable enough to go out and shop my skills, and to get some of the certifications that would help me garner that wage. But I feel that after I have the surgery and I lose some weight, and I do if I have to go back in the job market, I think I'll have more confidence in that, not being such, tied to this job. But anyway, so enough with that stuff. So it was cool. My day was awesome because I had that compliment from Ray. Secondly, I have a coworker today that took an hour, took a rather lengthy break. And then I had another coworker call me like 6 times on my cell phone while I was busy, talking with a tech on the phone and whatnot. And they told me that I need to go on break, blah, 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 blah. I said, then go on break. I said, I've worked in this fucking department for 12 years, and nobody respects breaks. Just go on break. I'm fucking adult enough to handle it. So just go on break. I'll handle it by myself. And mind you, I was getting jammed. I was getting ham jammed. And I was getting a little frustrated. And I said some stuff that I shouldn't have said. I don't think it was terrible, but I was basically complaining about being left alone and about how my direct management doesn't really supervise and doesn't really discipline. And I was like, and I was frustrated because, when I first started with the company, when I first started with the company, they flat out told me, don't get comfortable. Your job is at will. We can terminate you, or you can terminate your employment at any time without notice. And that desk you sit at, that's not your property. That's the company's property. So just don't get comfortable. So that was that. And the thing I didn't understand why they were telling me that is because everyone else had shrines at their desk. They had shrines. I mean, pictures of everything, of kids and everything. And I don't know why they were telling me that. But, I'm going to take them at their word that, so the desk is going to be clean. I'm not going to put any personal mementos on it. Nothing. It's just going to be my work center, my workstation, the phone. That's it. Nothing else. And that's the way it's been for the last 20 and a half years since I've been with the company. If you look at my desk, the only thing you'll see is my workstation, monitor, and phone. That's it. Nothing else. It made an impression on me. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not making that place. I'm not comfortable. They told me not to be comfortable in that place. I'm not going to be comfortable in that place. That's why I keep everybody at, pretty much at arm's length at that job, because that's what I was told. And I think I should be a little relaxed on it, but no, I said, they wrote it in stone. But anyway, where was I going with this? Okay, so that puts me on edge. So it's kind of like me against the world, or me against the world. So I'm already defensive anyway, because I already have that me against the world attitude. So whenever anyone accuses me of something, or says I did something, accuses me of something, I get really defensive, and I get my dander up, and I get over, even if it's something silly, like, something silly like, did you move that book? And I go, yeah, and I have to over-explain. I get defensive, and I become a prick about it. So anyway, so I don't like that stuff. So I don't like being accused of stuff. So I will always overly defend myself and be overly sensitive on that stuff. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm tired right now, so I'm just babbling. So anyway, my coworker came up and said, I was online. You just didn't refresh your computer enough. And I said, if I said anything to offend you, I apologize. So I apologized to her. She said it was okay. And I told her, I said, my frustration is not with you or with anyone in our department. My frustration is, I said, I worked for this department for 12 years. And I said, when I first started with this company, I said, you have 3 breaks. You get a 15-minute break, 2 15-minute breaks, one in the first half of your shift, then you get a half-hour lunch break or meal break, then you get another 15-minute break. And I said, when I first started with this company, you had assigned those times by your supervisor, and they were monitored. So I remember my first break. I mean, I used to work 11:30 to 8. My first break was at 1:15 to 1:30. My meal break was between 4 and 4:30. My evening break was between 6:15 and 6:30. And if I was a minute late returning or a minute early, I got a written report telling me exactly when I punched in and punched out of my breaks. And if you were within 10 seconds over or minus of your 15-minute break, you were fine. After that, you were given a mark as a demerit. And after so many demerits, it affected your performance review, and eventually it could affect your employment status. So since when that was serious, I used to keep my scorecards with me every day. They'd give you a little performance card. They'd give you the number of calls that you took, the average call time, your available time, your unavailable time, and I was always spot on, because when I went on my break at 4:15, I started a stopwatch. I went and sat down in the break room area, and as soon as I timed it, so it was like 15-second walk back, sit down, sign back on. And I had my first, we had your 30-day review, it was a 90-day review, and they tried to give me this bullshit about how I was taking extra breaks. I pulled out my stack of daily report cards, and I said, please review this, and you'll see that your mark on your 3 marks on my attendance is wrong. And they said, you're right. She goes, you're right. So they changed it. That was I had an employee named Andy I worked with, and he told me to keep those to cover your ass. And that was one of the most important lessons I've learned working for that company, is always cover your ass. Save every email, document everything. And it may not seem relevant or pertinent at the time, but document it and save it, even if it's a little thing. And, I've been burnt a couple times. I've been an asshole a few times. I've been called out on it, but never to the point where my job was at risk. But anyway, so I felt bad about that, and I told the employee I work with, I said, next time you notice that, just don't tell me. I'm not a supervisor. I'm not a manager. Tell our manager that. I said, now, because I feel like an asshole now. I look like an asshole now, because I said, if you're going to come with me with that information when I'm in the middle of battle, that I consider work a battle, I'm not going to be able to process that, especially when I'm busy and I'm juggling 6 or 7 different things at once. I can multitask, but I can only juggle so much. And at the time when she was bringing this to me, I literally I was in the middle of 4 different transactions. I was in the middle of a phone call, and I literally had I had to create 5 UPS labels. I had to do three field searches, and finish a phone call. So I had a bunch of shit to get done. I had to transfer parts. So she got me at the wrong moment, and as soon as I get to that wrong moment, I just can't keep my mouth shut, and I run my mouth. I desperately need to work on that. I think that is maybe I'm over exaggerating. Since I take it such a personal, and I take it, I beat myself up over that kind of stuff. Maybe I should just let that go. But it's hard for me not to react it's hard for me not to keep my mouth shut. But anyway, I just want to talk about that for a few minutes, 20 minutes or so. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I have to go to bed, so I have to be up. I'm going to try to get up at like 9:30 so I can, do all this stuff and be ready for 11:30. I'm going to go out and get a coffee in the morning. And today, I was going to say tomorrow, but today's Tuesday, so I'm working from home, so 11:30 to 8. So if I get up at 9, that's what? 7.5 hours from now. Well, yeah, I could do that. It's only 2 a.m. So yeah, I can make the day on 7.5 hours of sleep. Anyway, I'm out. I hope you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good day. Citric acid out. Talk to you guys later. Bye.